Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. As many of you know, the previous 4 episodes this week were pre-recorded because I was in Louisville, Kentucky. We got back last night at like 1 in the morning. I was there for GAMA Trade Show 2024 in Louisville. First time in Louisville for me and the show. The show previously was long ago it was in Vegas, and then it was in Reno for a while, and now it's in Louisville. Both Vegas and Reno were horrific. Louisville I enjoyed it. It's a nice little space. The venue was nice. The city was decent. It felt honestly a lot like Indianapolis, like a little, very similar, big wide streets and not a lot going on. As far as like the city goes, I felt like the people there were excited to have us in their city. Like they literally said thank you for visiting us, or like they were like thanks for being here. Like we like having you, whatever. So that was cool. And I know that some of you had asked for some like footage and stuff from the floor. I really don't have much. I took some pictures, shot a video. I'll put that. Hopefully, I have remembered to sprinkle some of that in to this. But I didn't take my camera gear and stuff because it's really GAMA is not a retail show. It's just B2B, business to business. It's a trade show. The idea is for publishers like myself to connect with retailers, to connect with distribution channels, to connect with media in a more intimate way. And so, if I've shown you the stuff, it looks a lot like any other consumer show you've gone to. It's different. It's interesting because years ago, very few exhibitors brought their own booth materials because this isn't a retail show. I'm not here to but anyway, and so we would just use like whatever booth material the venue provided with some banners and stuff, because it's really just a show to connect and show retailers upcoming products, to show distributors upcoming products. But this year it looked like a normal convention, with just everybody's booths looked great. And so the reason I didn't really take any stuff is because that segment was only 4 hours a day for 3 days. And during that time, I was in the booth that entire 4 hours. Like I think I took 2 meetings during booth hours. Otherwise, I was stuck. And so it's a very, I think for the average gamer, it's just kind of, what is this? It is good. It's one of my favorite spaces to connect with my gaming friends because there's not a whole bunch for us to do. I mean, the thing about this trade show, it's always been sort of focused on promoting business, meaning that there's a lot of seminars, but they're usually around like how to open a game store, how to open a cafe, how to launch your YouTube channel, and so it's not really, there's not a lot of content there for publishers unless they're brand new and know nothing. There's content there, so it's unless you're doing presentations, or like yesterday we did a 3-hour block meeting with all the distributors. My sales agent is called Publisher Services. They have I don't know, hundreds. I don't know how many. They represent dozens and dozens and dozens of publishers, and they warehouse my products and send them to distribution and all that sort of stuff. They had set up a meeting with us and distribution, and so that was nice. I got to get decent quality one-on-one time with all the distributors and tell them about my upcoming products, talk about me as a person, because I used to do this long ago. I was in this role. I met with distributors and talked about everything, and then I didn't for a number of years, and now it was just kind of like a way to say, hey, I'm back. I'm doing this. You know, you talk to me if you need anything. I'll be the point of contact. Please just kind of let's keep things going. And so it was good. It was a good show for me. It was good to be kind of. The people were surprised because they didn't know. Like, we haven't really said anything about it. We haven't said, "Hey, Chevee's doing Portal's business again." Like, no. And so this was kind of like, "Hey, surprise! You know, I'm doing this again." But there's retailers there that I've seen for many years at not only GAMA, but there's also like other trade shows that are usually hosted by distributors. I see those people a lot. So they're like, "Hey, I saw you a couple years ago," or whatever. And so I didn't film a whole lot, you know. I took my wife with me this time. She went just to kind of hang out and be there in case something, you know, in case I needed her, and that was really nice. We got to spend, you know, some quality evenings in Louisville. It is a weird schedule because the hall is, like I said, only open in the afternoons, and so the mornings are kind of this weird whatever time. I set up as many meetings as I could in the mornings so that I could just have, you know, a little space because she was working. She didn't take vacation time. She went there. She worked during the day. And it was good. It was a good show, I think. It felt better. I talked to quite a few of the GAMA board members. They came around and asked a bunch of questions, a bunch of like, what do you think? We were looking for honest feedback, and I have been very, maybe not publicly, but I have definitely been vocal about my feelings for the organization in the past. And I felt this experience was a step in the right direction. The venue was so much better than being in a casino, for one. It was bigger. I think they said they added 100 vendors, which is a lot. And my biggest complaint was we only had 12 hours of booth time, so retailers who wanted to see everybody were just kind of rushing. Like, what do you got? Okay, cool, and they would move on to the next thing, and that felt very strange to me. It was. I wish there was more time, but at the same time, again, this isn't a money making show. Me standing there for 6 hours a day, I don't know that I want to do that either. I don't know what the solution is. There's got to be something a little bit better there. But it was good. It was a good trip. And I got to have some bourbons I hadn't had before. We didn't really, like, we both thought we should have maybe taken Friday off. You know, it's like a 5.5 hour drive. It's almost the exact same drive for me to get to Louisville in the lower part of Kentucky as it is for me to get to Indiana. They're like, one I go up this way and over, and this one I go down and over, you know. And so to save some cash, you know, to save the company, I didn't stay last night. We just, as soon as the hall closed at 6:30, I had all my stuff packed. I was walking out the door by 7, and we were on the road, and we got back at like 1 in the morning. That was just because it was expensive. Like, it was an expensive trip. But we both thought maybe we should have, like, maybe if not downtown Louisville, we should have stayed and, you know, then came back casually on today, and stopped at some of the distilleries or something. But it was fine. It was great. My big complaint though would be that the hotel was it was like a couple of blocks away from the convention center, and there was one sky bridge that went from the hotel across the first block, but then there was no sky bridge from there to the convention center. But that first sky bridge was like, I went in it just to see because I heard people complaining about it. It was like a horror movie. I was not going to walk in there. I'll just walk. It kind of rained and sprinkled all week, and they were oddly doing like fixing a fire hydrant in front of the hotel the whole week. So there was like a river flowing through. Whatever. Food was good. I had a Brazilian steakhouse that was good. Burger place was good. You know, it was a good trip. We enjoyed ourselves. But, yeah. We've got, as far as Portal is concerned, we have some really great products coming up. Printing press will be out in 2 weeks. Definitely check it out. I will probably put some videos up on my gaming channel about our upcoming products, and I have quite a few other products, like not Portal stuff, I would like to do videos for. That might be coming out soon. But Printing Press is a kind of a, it's not a follow-up to Gutenberg, but same theme, just it's a completely different game. Pretty cool. Robinson Crusoe is currently being distributed, and then there will be a very small, limited retail release in May for the collector's edition. Like basically what's left over. And once that's sold, we're done. We have no more. Not reprinting the collector's edition. And and the Book of Adventures will come out in May also. So and that'll be available. We'll keep that in print because I think people want that. But yeah, it was a good trip. Got any questions? Put them in the comments. We can talk about it next week. I did read a book. We'll talk about that next week. No, Jonathan, it's not turning into a board game or a book channel. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I will end up reading 100 books this year and just start talking about books all the time. We'll see what happens. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking it, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again on Monday. Today's word you should know sounds smart is turgescent. It's an adjective meaning becoming, appearing swollen or distended. His abs were so neglected, his stomach became turgescent after a big meal. Turgescent. Turgescent. That's a very interesting word. And since Jonathan pointed out that to me that tumid and tumescent, that tum is like Latin for swollen or whatever. Interesting that there's 3 words in here that kind of relate to swollen, but turgescent does not share the same root.